Om Shanti. Greetings of peace. Compassionate movement is the constant and continuous flow of good wishes and pure feelings. Over the past year, we saw the need for compassion skyrocket. But those very same circumstances that pulled at our hearts also generated a lot of fear. And fear is the mortal enemy of compassion. And it's like kryptonite when it comes to any kind of movement, because it creates so much tension in our minds and our bodies. Now, we can be completely unaware of this tension, and it's affecting our body's ability to function, even just to breathe. And so clearly that's important when we consider that the ability to breathe and to express compassion are both absolutely essential to our body's health and to our own well-being. So, how can we remain powerfully compassionate and free of tension while facing those situations and circumstances that can provoke fear? Well, what is fear? Now, you may have heard it said that fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear. Now, that isn't to say that the fear I may be feeling or the situation that's provoking that fear isn't real. No, it's very real. But there is an illusion underlying that fear. And that illusion is that when I look in the mirror, the body that I see is me. That I am my body. And now, our language even proves the illusion. For when I say my body, well, that clearly indicates that the body is something I have and not what I am. The truth is, I am not this body. I am the being animating this body. I am intimately connected with this body in order to experience and express my life through it. This body is physical. It's made of matter and therefore perishable, whereas I, the being, I am non-physical, spiritual, and so eternal. I am an energy, a conscious, living energy. And I'm like a tiny, tiny star that is constantly generating and radiating a distinct energy of consciousness that then becomes thoughts, words, feelings, actions, etc. So to reestablish this truth, this distinction between I, the eternal being, and this perishable body is the first step to liberating myself from that fear. And that will elevate how I am, how I feel, and therefore what I do. This awareness, to consider myself to be a soul, is at the foundation of Raja Yoga, what we practice and teach at the Brahma Kumaris. I would now like to guide you through some simple seated exercises which can help to elevate, liberate, and elevate the quality of your breathing. But because you, the being, will be using the power of that consciousness that you naturally have to guide your body to do the exercises, you will then be able to have an experience of the being, the soul that you are. Let's get started. I would now like to guide you through some simple seated exercises which can help to liberate and elevate the quality of your breathing. But because you, the being, will be using the power of that consciousness that you naturally have to guide your body to do the exercises, you will also be able to have an experience of the being, the soul that you are. Let's begin. Placing your hands on the tops of your thighs and your feet flat on the floor. So you want to be sitting in a chair that you can do that. So you can have your feet flat on the ground and your back against the back of the chair. Now, you may find it helpful to use a cushion or a pillow behind your back so that you can comfortably have your back against the back of the chair while your feet rest flat on the ground. And so, feet up flat on the ground and your thighs are hip distance apart, parallel, and your hands, palms down, are resting on top of your thighs, and your back is against the back of the chair. So now, just take a moment, settle in, and start. We're going to start by, first of all, getting our awareness more up and running, giving it a little warm-up. Because in fact, all of the tension, the stress, and everything else that's been going on has actually diminished our awareness. So we want to amplify it, empower it. And so we'll do that by using it, but using it in a particular way. So first of all, you're going to send your awareness down to where your feet are. And you want to let your awareness just completely fill with the feeling of where your feet are making contact with the ground. So the soles of your feet with the floor. Let that fill your awareness. And now the same thing with the palms of your hands on your thighs. So that contact of the palms of your hands on your thighs, let that also join the feet and feel the awareness. And then the thighs, the legs, resting on the seat of the chair. Let that also fill the awareness. Now, where you've sent your consciousness, your awareness, where your attention goes, energy flows. The energy of your own consciousness flows there, and you might be able to feel that as a subtle tingling in your hands, your feet, your legs, and your arms. And just observe that, be aware of that. Let it fill your awareness. And now, moving your awareness to your back, where it's in contact with the back of the chair. Letting your awareness fill with the feeling of the back in contact with the back of the chair. And becoming aware of the breathing, the movement of the breath in your body. But still also aware of the hands, the feet, the arms, the legs, and also the breath and the back. And feeling the awareness becoming concentrated in your eyes and in the space of your mind. Feeling the quality of your awareness as it becomes concentrated and centered in that space of the mind, in the center of the forehead, and the feeling of it filling your eyes with a very gentle, caring energy. And that energy is animating your body and guiding the movement in your body. And so now you're aware of the breath in your body, but where is that movement? Ideally, we want it in the ribs, not in the belly. You want it in the ribs where your lungs are. So let's just do a quick check on the alignment to see if it's supporting the breathing happening in the rib cage. You're going to pick your hands up and put them in a position that you might have for some of the activities that you might perform during the course of a day, like driving the car, or working at the typewriter, or holding a device, or whatever it may be. So you're just going to hold your hands, your arms there. And as you hold them there, now observe the breath. And see if it's become more restricted, not affected. Okay, let's challenge it a little bit more. Take the arms out, the hands a little further away. Now, if there's any pain, just bring the hands back in or put them down. And now see if the breathing has become more restricted, more limited, with the arms out here. If it has, then it tells us that we need to adjust the alignment to support a higher quality of breathing, or more powerful breathing that can be more functional. So put the hands back down on your thighs. And so now we're not going to adjust the alignment directly. We're going to do it in a very specific way. You're going to focus your awareness on your thighs where they're in contact with your hands. And you're going to try and press your thighs up into your hands, but you're not going to succeed. You're not going to actually lift your thighs, but in trying to press your thighs, and your consciousness is now guiding that movement, that effort of pressing the thighs into your hands, you will hopefully now feel your pelvis shifting forward away from the back of the chair. So your lower back, you'll start to feel a bit of a space or arch away from the back of the chair as you continue to try and press your thighs into your hands without succeeding. And so now as the pelvis shifts, muscles start to engage in the lower torso, the front and the back, and the upper thighs. And these muscles are the core support or strength muscles of your body. And what they do, when they are working together, they liberate the area where breathing happens, your diaphragm, your ribs, allowing them to become more free and capable of expanding with the breath. And so you're now focusing again on the breath, the movement, feeling it expand the ribs, the chest on the inhale, and the shoulder blades falling, melting down the back or into the back of the chair on the exhale. Expanding the chest on the inhale, and on the exhale, the shoulder blades melting down the back, still trying to press those thighs into your hands without succeeding. All right, now gently let that go and feel your body settle back into the chair, your shoulder blades into the back of the chair, your thighs into the seat. Now focusing on your thighs underneath, the upper thighs where they meet your pelvis. You want to start to try and press them into the seat of the chair. So your mind, your awareness is guiding your thighs to press into the seat of the chair. And that will activate muscles underneath the upper thighs, as well as other core muscles. It will also press your shoulder blades and the back of your ribs further into the chair, but will keep the chest open and free. And again, observing the breath, expanding on the inhale, the chest, and the shoulder blades melting, sinking into the back of the chair on the exhale. Expanding the chest on the inhale, and melting, sinking the shoulder blades on the exhale. You might also feel your feet pressing into the floor as you do this. Now, gently release that, gradually release that. And one more time, the first movement, trying to press the thighs into the palms without succeeding, to reactivate more powerfully those core support or strength muscles in the lower torso, upper thighs. And again, feeling the diaphragm, the rib cage become more free and expanded, and able to enhance the breathing now in the rib cage. Expanding on the inhale, and the shoulder blades melting down the back on the exhale. Expanding the chest on the inhale, and on the exhale, melting the shoulder blades into the back of the chair. Now, float the arms up again, and let's see how we do. Are we able to maintain the breathing? Great. Let's bring the hands back down. Feeling very open, very royal. The breath nice and free in the ribs. And when we bring our awareness now again back to the eyes, the center of the forehead, the space of the mind, we feel the consciousness like a very beautiful, caring, gentle energy, but powerful. That energy that I, the being, am generating is shining out through my eyes, is radiating into the breath, into my body, animating the breath. And I feel that the space of the mind and the breath in the body, that both of those spaces are in harmony. And the energy is very beautiful, very sweet, compassionate. And so I now leave you with a quote from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. When the movements of the mind and of the breath of life are in a harmony of peace, there is a determined will, and that determined will is pure. Yes, and we feel that. We feel that pure will is a very compassionate energy, compassionate movement of the being and the breathing. Om Shanti. Now you will be taken further into this experience of being and breathing. Om Shanti. I am a being of peace.
Sitting comfortably, I focus on the breath, the breathing of the body, the movement of the lungs, those life-giving activities of inhaling and exhaling. How the lungs inhale, bringing in oxygen that will nourish the entire body. And then the lungs exhale, let go, releasing the waste, what the body can no longer use. This compassionate movement of the breath, taking in what nourishes and letting go of what no longer serves. I watch this all as if from a distance, observing the natural movement of the lungs, the rhythm of the breath, my mind following along, and even noticing the effect on the body, the immediate effect. The lungs breathing in, energizing the body, and then that beautiful sense of letting go, helping to dissolve any hidden tension in the body. My mind follows along, moving with the rhythm of the breath, until it begins to feel as if my mind is breathing. My mind is inhaling and exhaling, taking in and letting go. My mind breathes in, inhales the oxygen of peace, letting it fill the entire space of my mind opening, expanding to hold that beautiful feeling of peace, cool, calm peace. And then the exhale, the mind letting go of any tension, any worry, any anxiety or fear, letting go. And the mind taking in another breath, the oxygen of lightness, this subtle lightness, filling the vast space of my mind. So light, softening any harsh feelings in the mind. And the mind letting go, exhaling, releasing any heaviness, any complications, any clutter, just letting go. The mind taking in another breath, the oxygen of love. That oxygen of love filling the space of my mind, carrying the nutrients of acceptance, patience, understanding, forgiveness. and letting go. Exhaling, releasing any thoughts of judgment, criticism, guilt, pain, shame. Letting go. Letting my mind continue to breathe this oxygen of compassion. Om Shanti.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fear relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first